Take 11. Hello, my name's Michelle, and I'm making this video today because I'd like to talk to you a little bit about Reiki. Uh, so some of you may have already heard of it or experienced Reiki. Um, Many haven't, and I get asked many times what Reiki is. So I thought I'd make a little video to put up on the website and social media. Um, to help answer some of those questions and tell you a little bit about me and what I do. So, Reiki was something that was used a couple of thousand years ago by Tibetan monks on their enlightenment journey, um, which then was rediscovered in the 1920s by a Japanese doctor called Dr. Zui. Um, and he then kind of developed it for modern day practice, and it's then been passed from teacher to student for the last, well, nearly 100 years now. And we still use the same symbols in Reiki today as they did thousands of years ago, by those Tibetan monks. It's really used to help with healing. So it's a form of energy healing, form of channeling, using the energy that is all around us, the energy that that is us, that we are part of, that is everywhere in this incredible, amazing universe of ours. To me, it really makes perfect sense from a scientific point of view as well, in the kind of sense that if you break it down to, really going into the quantum physics of it all, that everything is just energy. We're energy condensed into matter. That's all we are. That's all this room is. That's all that pirate mobile that's up there is. That's all the CD case full of 90s CDs is. That's all the bookcases, printer, me, you, everything is just energy condensed. And energy flows. So for me, the idea that Reiki could then flow through me to you or to another person or to an animal or to a situation, to the planet, really is not such a strange idea. It really makes sense. Um, and we use Reiki to help people with energy blockages in one form or another, that can be causing illness, that can be causing pain, can be causing mental issues, troubles, issues in our day-to-day lives, and we really use it to help that energy to flow as it should be, so that everything within our bodies is flowing better, our physical health becomes better, our spirituality becomes better, our emotional balance, our chemical balance becomes better, the balance within our lives becomes better. So it's a holistic technique, meaning if you've got a problem with your arm, we're not just going to focus on that one issue that's there, because you're a bigger thing than just this or just this problem. You are a huge spirit, a huge energetic spirit. And by working holistically on the whole of you, then that will help kind of specific issues and help to release blockages and usually things that cause pain, whether that's physical pain, mental pain, emotional pain. It helps to release that and helps everything to flow better. In a nutshell, that's basically what we do. Um, it's used it's used for many different ways. It's used in hospitals these days. It's even used in our local hospital here in Pembrokeshire. I live in West Wales in the UK, in a little lovely, amazing, beautiful coastal rural area, and we have a local hospital here, Withybush. And Reiki is used there. It's also used in some of the really big hospitals in the USA. I know use Reiki as well, and it's really starting to have prevalence in the medical field as well now. It's being recognised that it does make a huge difference to people. It's being used often in cancer patients struggling with pain, and often people with anxiety. It can be used for, there's a whole array. Post-operative patients, can be used in conjunction with physiotherapy, many different things. It's wonderful. Really, it's quite an incredible thing, and it's gentle, non-invasive, which I think is a really important thing, and it treats the person as a whole, treats the spirit and the soul and the physical body. So how did I come into Reiki? Well, I was just doing my thing. So I came into Reiki when I was 20. I'm 41 now, so I've been doing it for 21 years. Back in 2000. My sisters actually gifted it to me as a birthday present. They gifted me Reiki attunements. Go and learn how to do Reiki. Which might seem like a bit of a strange gift to give to somebody. But for me, it made perfect sense. For them, it made perfect sense too. Anybody who knows me well knows that I'm not necessarily your normal kettle of fish. um, for those that don't know me, I've always, all my life, since I was a small child, been what these days, very nicely, we term an empath. So I really feel other people's emotions, other people's feelings, other people's thoughts come to me, not in the sense that I'm going to tap in and read your mind and your deepest, darkest secrets, but in the sense that I feel what you're feeling. So when I talk to a person, often the people find it hard sometimes to explain their feelings through their words. So I find it hard to express myself in words, but our feelings speak for themselves, and we project that out energetically, and I absorb that. So I know I sense what you're thinking and what you're feeling without you having to say it often. Um, and this isn't something that's new, or this isn't something that's unusual. This isn't even something which is just I can do. This is something that I think it's a no-brainer. And I think a lot of you watching this will say, hey, that's me. That's me. That's what happens to me too. Because this is something that anybody can do. I really want to spend some time and do another video at some point about empathy and about empaths, because I think it's a really important quality to have, especially going forwards in this crazy world that we're in right now. Is people learning to develop their sense of empathy with other people and animals and plants and the world at whole. I was really fortunate to have the upbringing that I did, that my mother, who's with spirit now, uh, she was wonderful. And when I was telling her that I could hear what people were thinking as a small child, far from her tell me that that's crazy and that's odd and anything like that. She nurtured it in me, and she told me that it was a really natural thing to have, and we played games with it. And she taught me to develop that skill. And so it came second nature to me. It's not even second nature, it's first nature. It's just there. And it's lovely. There are times that it's a blessing, there are times that it's a curse. um, but the blessings outweigh the curse, certainly, because it means that I can reach people, help people, understand people more. And in the line of work that I do now as a Reiki healer, uh, understanding people from their heart, hearing their feelings from their heart, oh, it's so beneficial. I can bring more help to those that need it, and I feel so lucky to be able to do that where I can, when people are ready for that help. So yeah, so it really wasn't that strange that my sister sent me to go and learn Reiki. Um, I'd also, as a child, I was born remembering one of my past lives. That's still with me today. In fact, there's been one, maybe two more that have come through, but that's stories for another time. Um, but certainly as a child, yeah, I have had very, very vivid memories of my past life, and spirit guides, one particularly that's come with me from that life, who's always by my side. Um, and I didn't talk about that for a long time. Um, but as you get older, you realise that a lot of people have similar things, and this is a really normal thing for me now. So I'm really lucky. Got tons of spirit guides now, which is just amazing. But I'm going off on one now. Sorry. Um, yes. So angels were another thing that were always with me from my childhood, from before my birth. My mum was a great believer in angels, and there was issues that happened before my birth, during my birth, after my birth, that caused my mum to worry. And she told me that she asked her angels to look after me, to watch over me, to be with me, her personal guardian angels to become my personal guardian angels. And she talked about this a lot with me as a child, and I really became used to the presence of angels and would talk to them as my best friends, as I still do now. So I did as a child, all through my life, chatted to them, see them, often as sparkles of light is one way that I see them, although sometimes on a couple of occasions I have seen them in a much bigger sense. Um, for those of you that uh, live in Pembrokeshire, um, one place that I've seen them that's very dear to me is if you go down to White Sands Beach. Um, to the right hand side, it makes me feel quite emotional. Down to the right hand side, um, like where the rip is. If you go down there and you walk out onto the Ram's Nose, sitting out on the Ram's Nose when I was about 18 years old, sat there meditating like any normal 18-year-old, surely. Sat there meditating, and I saw this incredible being like come from the sea towards me, white, huge, bigger than anything I've ever seen before. Huge, glowing white wings coming towards me. Um, it like there was no doubt in my mind what it was. I wasn't scared. I was overcome with love. This beautiful white being coming towards me. So that's one time that I've seen them, but I see them in different ways. That's one kind of occasion. and then other times I see them all around people within the aura. Sometimes I could be chatting to people, sometimes it's within a Reiki session, sometimes I'm having a cup of tea with a friend, um, and you see these sort of like sparks, almost like you might say like a firework. Like I can see these in different colours, often connected to which particular angel it is. Um, for me, the most amazing angel that I have seen was about 2 or 3 years ago. I went to a Reiki share, um, and in Carmarthen, when I was really starting to take the next level, and I wanted to meet up with other people to do Reiki, and I met the lovely Reiki master Emily May, um, and I went to this Reiki share with Emily and a bunch of lovely ladies. And during I was giving Reiki to a lady, my lovely friend Pippa. Hello, and I hope you don't mind me mentioning you, Pippa. And during that Reiki session, I could see this incredible tall, about 7 foot tall, green being, tall, strong, powerful. I couldn't even see the top of this being. I could make out a sense of his enormity and his calm power, but he was green. I could see his wings, like as clear as day. His wings were there, and I just thought, wow. And at that point, I didn't really know that much about um, angels and the different angels. Um, but afterwards, when I kind of went and did this research, like, who's this powerful, those of you from the healing community will know, so I am laughing. Who's this powerful green angel that's standing over us during this Reiki share, this room full of people healing each other, all doing Reiki and all of this amazing healing energy. So there's this green being stood here amongst us, like, wow, like I was amazed. And it wasn't until afterwards I went home that evening and went and had a look on the internet, like you would, to try and find something out. And it came, and it'll be no surprise to a lot of you, but it came as no surprise to me when I had a look that it was Archangel Raphael. For those of you who don't know, Archangel Raphael is a biblical angel. Um, he's green, and he is the healing angel. He carries enormous healing power. That is what he does. There are different angels who have different powers attributed to them, and Archangel Raphael is the healing angel. So of course he was stood there when there was a room full of, I think there was 9 of us, all practicing Reiki, all learning how to bring more healing energy to the world. Of course, Archangel Raphael would be stood there, and I feel very blessed that I could see him. Like, wow, it's incredible. So this is who I am, and this is why my sisters um, at 20 thought she better go and learn how to do Reiki, do something with this crazy stuff. So yeah, so off I went, and um, I went and I learnt with 2 amazing Reiki masters in Worcester, um, Shirley Griffin and Lisa Jones, who are both wonderful ladies. And where do I go from there? Oh, gosh, into my 20s, I just like Reiki was a massive turning point for me, starting it and having my first degree attunements at 20. I was quite young, um, and quite wild and wayward. Um, but despite this sort of wild party side of me back then, there was in complete contrast this yoga, Reiki, meditation, reading of deep spiritual texts going on as well. And throughout my 20s, I really spent a lot of time reading and a lot of time meditating. Um, Authors like Neil Donald Walsh, who wrote Conversations with God, that trilogy, um, Barefoot Doctor, the wonderful, wonderful Barefoot Doctor, even Graham Hancock and Doreen Virtue at the time, um, really, really gave me food for thought, my already curious mind, to this amazing universe that we live in and the power of healing. I wasn't practicing Reiki at the time. I was kind of sharing it with friends, family when they needed it, but I really didn't have the confidence within me. I still didn't know who I was at the time or what I was doing here. So I was just carrying on being a normal 20 something, doing just a bit of bar work and waitressing, and just living the life of a 20 something. Um, it wasn't until I sort of was approaching my 30s that I really started feeling unfulfilled in my life, and um, not in like a bad way, but just that I felt like there was something more, and there was really, it was almost like this start of a catalyst of becoming who I needed to be. We're all on that journey, aren't we? Every single one of us is on this journey of who am I? What am I doing? What's my purpose? Why am I here? What, for me, it's always been like, what more can I give? Can I give more? Can I help more? What can I do? And I always thought it was through kind of my career and like my work and how can I work harder? And I always had, I was talking to my partner's mum about this earlier, we were saying we always had like 3, 4 jobs on the go, and I was working harder, partying harder, exercising harder, but I still wasn't getting what I needed. And so I thought, I'm going to go back to college, get some education. I need to study. I've always had this science brain that I wasn't using. I knew I was intelligent. I needed to use it. That's what I need to do. So off I went, and I went back to college. Excuse me, I quit my job. I went to college. And that was amazing. I was hitting top grades and everything, getting distinctions left, right, and centre. Uh, Went off then to university, same thing. I had 2 or 3 scholarships, I can't even remember. I was the top 1% in Cardiff University, studying hard, but I wasn't happy. I still felt unfulfilled. So story short, I came home. I dropped out. I came home, back to Pembrokeshire. But I thought, what am I doing? What am I going to do? I needed to be back here. I can't, like, city life isn't for me. I've tried it before. I can't do it. Empaths in a city, no, it's like buzzing. So back home to lovely Pembrokeshire, and I thought, what am I going to do? So I joined the Open University, which was incredible, and I highly recommend that to anybody thinking about it. They are wonderful. And I was studying natural sciences degree with Open University. Again, hitting all the top grades, off we go, end of the first year, on score for a first. Great. This is when I discovered quantum physics because I was studying natural sciences, but because it was Open University, you really had control of the emphasis of the direction that it took, and physics was my bag right down. So down the physics route I went, and I went deeper and deeper and deeper because I just wanted to know more and more and more about this universe until I hit quantum physics, and that just lit me up like incredible. It started answering some of the questions that I wanted to know. Anyway, I can't just talk about quantum physics all day. I really like to, but I can't. So I have to stop myself. Point is, while I was studying quantum physics, it really resonated with everything that I had learned spiritually and was learning and continue to learn spiritually. The two, like people would think that they are poles apart. The opposite is true. I saw quantum physics and spiritual belief coming closer and closer, hand in hand, like the two made perfect sense to me. There was such a correlation. Once you go into that crazy quantum theory world, that, like, what's that saying? If you understand quantum theory, then you don't understand quantum theory because it's so out there. But the theories behind it and what it was saying about energy really, really like matched with everything within the spiritual world. Like the two came together for me, and there was this real kind of epiphany and wake up moment during that. I nailed my quantum physics and was coming out with like in exams like 98% and that sort of thing. I'm not telling you this because woohoo, look at me. Far from it, because once again, I quit. The reason why I quit, well, there was some personal loss going in there. My mum went to heaven and it was a tough time. But even though I was doing really well and enjoying the course, it still wasn't hitting me in the fulfillment stakes. I still didn't feel like I was on the right course. And it then wasn't until I kind of came out of that and a little bit of time went on that I decided there's something else in this spiritual world that I need to be doing. And I need to be helping people. I'd spent a few years like helping my mum and helping my dad at difficult times. And I wanted to be able to help people more and do something that really made a difference to people's lives when they needed it most. I want to be able to give them something, help them. So I didn't know where I was going, but then I took a deep breath in my life, and something changed. I'm not sure if the trigger was losing my mum, becoming a mum myself, caring for people, the quantum physics, the meditation, the yoga, the Reiki that I had done, but sort of uh, uh, in my coming into my late 30s, all of this stuff sort of came together and coalesced and changed, and something clicked, and it felt as if the universe suddenly said to me, boom, go do Reiki. And wow, it again was this massive epiphany for me. Oh, this is how I help people. I started this back when I was 20. It's always been sort of there on the back burner, but bubbling away with everything else. And now it's cooked and it wants to go. And the universe turned my life upside down, basically didn't give me a choice without going too much into everything, but kind of gave me this massive push, like, go and do this. This is what you're supposed to do. So off I went to that Reiki show where Archangel Raphael showed up and went and trained some more in Reiki, did my 2nd degree attunements in Reiki to become a Reiki practitioner. And since then, I haven't looked back. It has changed my life in a way I can't put into words. I'm trying to share it out to you in an empathic way. Since then now, I have been practicing Reiki for coming up 2 years now. I've seen all sorts of wonderful people, treated all sorts of incredible people for various things. Every person that I meet is a blessing, and I hope that Reiki can help them to heal themselves and bring them peace and bring them joy and bring them health and bring them vitality. And I'm really lucky to be doing this because for the first time in my life I feel fully fulfilled, and that's not an easy thing to say, but it's a real blessing to be able to help people. Especially during this time that we're in now, where many people are feeling wobbly in one sense or another, be it, physically or emotionally, because of everything that has happened. And I feel that now is a time that we really need more light, more love, more empathy, more understanding, more respect for one another, more compassion, really, for everybody and for this planet, regardless of opinion on anything. We just need to love each other and look after each other. And I'm not sorry if that sounds cliche, oh, we just need to love each other, because love is energy. Energy is what keeps all of us alive. It is the universe. And bringing more light and more energy and more love to this planet can only be a good thing. So that's my mission. That's what I do. I used to be a party girl, and now I bring love. So that's me. That's what this is about. If you want to learn more about Reiki or Reiki Light Pembrokeshire, which is that's my business and what I do, that's the way that I bring Reiki to people, then you can follow the link, check out my website at www.reikilightpembrokeshire.com, or you can follow the Facebook page at Reiki Light Pembrokeshire. Join the group for chats and inspiration and fun. That's also on Reiki Light Pembrokeshire. We're on Instagram as well. I'm not on Twitter because I can't get my head around it. But anyway, nice chatting. I've talked quite a bit, much longer than I intended to. If you're still here, thanks for listening and loads of love.